I was treated like a king, in my household. I have beautiful memories. My parents are still together now. I think with my dad coming from Mexico, he's proud of the fact that, since he's been 11, he's taking care of his mom and his family. My dad had escaped from prison in Texas, and we were on the run in Juarez. The federales, they kicked the door in. It's a really awful memory. We wound up here in Las Cruces, and my dad would be bragging in Spanish, like, mijo, show him your English. And I'd be like, when I used to say it all weird, what's your name? What's your name? And I'd repeat it like a parrot. Like, you see, my son's got it. So I went to school with real high expectations, and I just got battered the first day. I was made fun of because I didn't speak English. A mob of kids chasing me home, throwing rocks at me, calling me a wetback. It was Mexican kids, trying to distinguish themselves. They talk about brown kids, like, we're not like them, we're different, I was telling my dad, and he was like, you know what? Punch them hard in the stomach, in the middle of the gut, and it'll stop. I tried it one time in the bathroom. I punched him in the gut, and he doubled over, and my problem was solved. I started getting a little reputation and being left alone, till one of them fought back, and I was like, wait a minute, what do you do after you punch someone in the gut? So I had to increase my repertoire. I think when I transitioned from elementary school to junior high, I was another big moment with the racist thing, because my friend was a white guy and he was my best friend. And all of a sudden he wouldn't be seen with me, and I was like, what the hell, dude? So that was a big, huge shock thing. And I started hanging around with the loser kids because that's who would take me. And even then I was a reject for that group, I had this teacher in Mayfield High School. He's one of those persons that I told you that was undercover racist. He treated me vastly different, not knowing me, just because of what I'm in, this body. It irked me so bad. It was a drafting class. It also pushed me to make my drawings more perfect. I wanted him to understand that, hey, my work is better than all these guys around your table, with their skull in their pockets and chewing and talking. Then I'd come around and everybody'd get hushed. And my grade was like half of theirs. He made me a better drafter, just for me to get back at him. So that's kind of this attitude that I've had. There's a challenge, like it can either break you or it can make you better. I started rebelling and going crazy. I got suicidal. I was antisocial as can be. I knew everything was wrong, and I just could do nothing about it. I started getting angry with the systems in place, with religion, with God, like double standards. Why am I treated different? With my dad coming from Mexico, and his education is up to 3rd grade, and he never valued our grades. He'd sign our report cards, he didn't care. And he kind of suggested, like, why don't you just get a job? You don't need school for success. So I was like, don't tell me twice. I got in the Air Force, went and did a bunch of testing. I did really well. They wouldn't take me because my class hadn't graduated. Got in trouble for the first time going to a lowrider concert in El Paso, and we didn't have enough money. I stole a battery from Scotty's grocery store. Some people identified the license plate on my friend's car. He just showed up with the state police at my house. So I took the rap, and I didn't go to the military. I'm glad it didn't happen. I started having conflict with police officers after my first felony. Oh my God. You start seeing that, some of these cops are worse than the people in prison, some of the worst, and they're blatant about it. Having the capability and knowing where to stab him to try to kill him. I got to that certain point several times. And what kept me there, was me trying to figure out how to explain to my daughter. She was like, Dad, I know one day you're going to make me so proud, people don't know you like I do. And I used to always think, she really believes in me, Before that, I was very selfish. And she was the reason that, the whole reason that I thought of getting out. And I see how she's struggling to accommodate me, where I was like this piece of this puzzle that's already complete. And all of a sudden they tell you, here's an extra piece. It's like, well, it's done. I'm more comfortable around Spanish-speaking Latin people. I'm dealing with the white man, and my spidey senses are up and tingling at the same time. It's just different understandings, different cultures, different backgrounds, and we could do wonderful stuff if we all got ourselves together and organized, and it's very doable. I wouldn't sign up for 19, 20 years in prison again, but I sure as shit got a lot from it. I'm ready to go, I'm free. I'm learning to write. I'm surrounding myself with positive people that want to stop a lot of the injustice. I'm gathering momentum. All these people have been, doing it hard while I was in there scratching my ass, reading a book, exercising, playing handball. There's a direction, and I want to lead some of us there. It's a different type of freedom, It's not the same brand of American freedom. It's like only the really rich are free, and the guys in prison have a measure of freedom. I see a lot of my friends that they're trying to get themselves together. There's a lot of hopelessness going around, desperation. Where do you start? The way I write it, it'll start, germinate a seed in somebody's mind. It's like, hey, you guys can do this. If I can do it, you can do it too. The hard part is getting back up and trying it again and doing it right. And I can't really say like this is what you gotta do, but I can say like there's a pitfall right here. Watch for it, because I fell in it. These young men from a certain demographic and caged them up. Their families are floundering. They're grease for these systems that are in place. I made it out of prison. That was a big thing. I think those first few years, my dad and having my family and I just trying to do what was right. He's always inculcated that in me. And so just having a sense of love and wholeness when I was little, going into this shocking culture thing, I kind of got in that for a minute. But somehow you wake up, reject all that, and you start dusting this kid off that you buried a long time ago. Like, wait a minute, there was nothing wrong with me.